Good morning, universe. Woohoo! Got on early today. I had the ability, adjust you a little bit there. I had the ability to get on earlier today. Fortunately, this is great. It fits a lot better in there. So I had the ability to get on earlier today because I got up early. I only woke up got up about 15 minutes ago, but I didn't go to bed until basically about 5 in the morning. So, I'm usually a night owl person. Man, this is just so awesome to me. So, I was looking at my clothes last night because, it's not as much about the weight loss. I know everybody wants weight loss or would like to have a slender frame. It really is more about how well your clothes fit. That's pretty much what it's been for me, is how well your clothes fit. And, excuse me, I got a bunch of my clothes organized, and I looked at a pair of pants this morning from that group and just realized how close I am. I mean, I could really probably button this pair of pants if I did the whole stuck in type thing. But I didn't want to do that. I want to be able to hook them naturally, because they have a hook. They're really dress pants above anything else. And so I really wanted to be able to do that naturally. So I told myself, instead of stressing myself out or psyching myself out over the course of this whole week, today is Sunday. So next Sunday, universe willing, I will put those pants on and see a difference. It's going to be effort, though, to get to that, because I'm going to continue to do this. Day 16. I'm not really counting the days because it's not like there's an end in mind for this. This is an ongoing process. I'm going to be here every day, whether you like it or not. Which leads into another bit. So yesterday, shortly after I did my normal 15 minutes vid, I heard about the horrible accident that happened at the Dayton Air Show regarding Jane Wicker. So here's how it stands. I posted this video, but I did a relatively small amount of research that seemed to be revealing. So in 2 interviews she did the day before the air show, she talked about what she does and the whole thing. And one of the interviews, the reporter started mentioning the fact that Jane Wicker's husband, or ex-husband, is her pilot. So I thought, oh my God. Because I knew that from my research, the woman has 2 children. And if this ex-husband is her pilot, is also their father, then in one sweep, they lost both parents. Here's the thing though. At the time I posted the video yesterday, which I looked, and even after that, I noticed that there was no mention of the pilot's name, only a mention of her name. obviously she was the media attention part of it. It's sad though because the pilot's life was just as valuable. But because of that, and because of that reporter's statement of the day before, it seems a logical deduction that this was Jane Wicker and her ex-husband, Kurt Wicker, who were killed in the accident yesterday. Keep in mind, I posted my video after hearing about it and doing research, not only what you could find online at the time, also what I heard and learned from the interviews she conducted, or she participated in. Regardless, I had one comment that was, positive, in a sense, because the person said, no, Kurt was not her ex, her pilot. After they divorced, someone else became her pilot. Well, in the interview the day before, the person said that that was her pilot, her husband, her ex-husband. So the question is if that's the case, why? Hang on. So if that's the case, then why did that reporter say that her ex-husband was the pilot? Which led me to reply and say, are you sure? I would really like to know who the pilot was because their life deserves to be acknowledged. And I heard no reply. And that's fine. The person may not get on YouTube that often. Then I got a second comment with simply the comment, knob. Well, I haven't replied. What irritates me about this stuff, though, is not the comments. You didn't say anything you wanted about me. Really, doesn't. You don't know me. Outside of these videos and what I tell you about myself, you don't know how I conduct my life, how I treat dogs, how I treat other human beings. You have my view because I share it with you. But there are a lot of nice people in the world who just watch videos and make comments. And it doesn't have to be praise. It can just be people saying, no, Kingsley, this is what's really going on. And there's a difference between saying, hey, Kingsley, you should be aware that this is actually this. And I'll go, oh, okay, great. Because I've acknowledged it in comments before if I made a mistake. And I write things like, hey, thanks for telling us about it. Because I don't pretend to know everything. And what one person may find in their research, or what another person may find in their research, could be vastly different. Look at the Lincoln books I've been reading. The way people interpret research is very, very different. So it's no problem for me. I'm happy to be wrong if I'm wrong, if you're right. Now, if you're shooting at darts at a board as much as I am, or drawing off of circumstantial or as reliable information as you can have, we're both on the same page. It's not like we're in a battle to see who knows more. And if you're in that kind of a battle, then you're probably in the wrong place in the first place. Why don't you become a politician? I'm not here to necessarily debate. There will be times when I will express my opinion and people will debate me, and that's fine. But this is not a who's right competition. It's really not. So, anyway, that's as much as I know about Jane Wicker. So far, I still haven't found the pilot's name online. So I don't know who it is. Horrible tragedy though. So sad to hear about it. My sadness and my hopes that the children are able to find peace at some point. And peace is maybe almost extreme in this situation because that's a very difficult thing to say someone will find. But I hope they find pride and appreciation and some semblance of peace. It's the best word I can think of after all this. It's just sad, obviously. So still, I got my images created yesterday for the Shay Carl vid. I am most likely going to post those, work on posting that today. I do need to run a few errands. I've got lunch in the oven, so I'm going to do lunch. I'm going to do lunch with myself over here. And then run these few errands, come back, do some cleaning, get ready for tomorrow for the crew, keep working on that presentation. Oh, I came up with the coolest thing. So, I came up with the coolest thing. The elliptical has social problems. Okay, so back on track. I remember my clock. Okay, and we're out of time. Man, I went really fast. Here's what I wanted to get at, though, really quickly. I looked up on my presentation and I discovered, I told you yesterday I was going to look up the word aspects. Well, that led me to the word elements. When I looked up elements, I found the word ingredients. And since I'm in food service, this is a perfect word. It coincides with my style of business. So when I do the presentation, I've got new presentation, or bid presentation, proposal, and now because I'm going into basically the contents page, I'm going to have it say, there are 3 major ingredients to this presentation. So that's going to be fun. So I like that. I find new things every day that excite me about this presentation and what's going to come of it. So, another 15 minutes is behind us. Good job. Good job. Thanks for being with me on this. I really appreciate your support and your viewage. Is that a word? I invent words. But that's a whole other conversation about OkCupid tomorrow. Okay, take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. Appreciate what you have around you. I'm not saying harp on it. Just look at the person, the people around you, or the experience you're having right now. Soak it in for a few minutes, for a minute or a few seconds. Soak it in and say, I'm glad I have you in my life. I love you. Or you mean something to me. Soak in the situation, the experience around you, and say, I'm grateful for this opportunity to have these moments. And not to sound like Mr. Rogers, but I am grateful for these moments with you. Okay, neighbor? Take care of yourself. Live with passion.